Word Magazine, hosted by POC, the first Friday at 10 a.m. for the PA Lottery Eco Word Fact of the Month. Brought to you by PA Lottery, benefiting older Pennsylvanians every day.
Courage. I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
March is Women's History Month, and Word Radio celebrates Black women in education. Dr. Janetta B. Cole is an educational leader who began her journey in higher education at age 15 when she was admitted to Fisk University. This graduate of Oberlin College holds a master's degree and doctorate degree in anthropology from Northwestern University. She served as the president of both Spelman and Bennett College. She was awarded over 50 honorary degrees, taught at several prestigious universities, and retired as the director of the Smithsonian Museum of African Art in 2017. Dr. Janetta B. Cole is the definition of Black excellence, and WURD salutes you. This Women's History Month vignette was brought to you by Comcast, Keystone First, Bank of America, and the Pennsylvania Lottery.
We are the home of progressive Black Talk Media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on Word Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L. O. G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Hello, hello, hello. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Happy Monday to you. Happy beginning of the month of March. What? I read something today that read today's date is the only date that will give you an order, March 4th. I thought that was cute. I just thought I'd share that. In any event, I hope you all had a beautiful weekend, and I hope you're having a great start to your week. I do want to say thank you to San Francisco. Thank you so much, San Francisco, and to the Will Downing crew for all of the love and for an amazing weekend. I had a ball, y'all. I really did. But I missed you. I missed you all. I missed each and every one of you. I did. I miss you when I'm away from you. But I'm so happy to be back with you. I am. I do want to say thank you to our beloved Roxy Fab for stopping by in my stead. I am truly humbled and grateful. Thank you so much. Family, welcome also to Women's History Month. Yes, in recognition of Women's History Month, today we celebrate one of Philly's own, Zoe Smith, the lone member of a Philadelphia high school golf team that won a city championship. She was a sophomore when she won the Girls Public League Individual Golf Championship in 2023. That's today's Women's History Moment. And beginning our Black History 365 moment. And thank you once again to Alfred. Thank you so much for the name. Today's Black History 365 moment is about Lewis Howard Latimer. And thank you to Nicole P., who submitted for today's moment, for today's Black History 365 moment. Lewis Howard Latimer, in case you are unaware, was an African-American inventor and patent draftsman. His inventions included an evaporative air conditioner, an improved process for manufacturing carbon filaments for light bulbs, and an improved toilet system for railroad cars. His innovations in the design of carbon filaments, which were used in incandescent light bulbs, significantly improved the bulb's efficiency and made it more practical for everyday use. His contributions to the lighting industry helped make electric lighting more accessible and affordable. Now, what some don't know is that while Thomas Edison is often credited with inventing the practical incandescent light bulb, Lewis Howard Latimer's inventions contributed to its development, which were completely invaluable. And he played a crucial role in advancing the technology. Family, that's today's Black History 365 moment. I do want to say, if you're joining us by way of social, share a comment and let us know. Let us know. Or you can even give us a call. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free. You can do that by dialing 1-866-361-0900. You know we love the love any way you care to share it. You know that we do. So reach out. I want to say happy birthday to all of our love bugs that are celebrating today and who celebrated over the weekend. Sending a special birthday shout out to my cousin, Armand Kinsey. I love you, Arm, and happiest of birthdays. Happy. That's right. One thing I want to share with you before we get started for real is about Level Up. Level Up is back for 2024, celebrating Women's History Month in partnership with WVON Chicago and KJLH Los Angeles, highlighting Black women-owned businesses who are making a difference in their communities. You can nominate your business or one of your favorite Black woman-owned businesses for a chance to become one of 5 finalists who will be featured in a special in-person, live, on-air Shark Tank style pitch party on Tuesday, April 2nd at the Fittler Club. Yes. The winner will be selected by a panel of corporate sector judges and will receive a grand prize valued at $5,000. Family, the deadline for submissions is Friday, March 22nd. Simply visit wordradio.com/level up to nominate the best of the best in Black women-owned businesses. Level Up 2024 is sponsored by Comcast, Pennsylvania Lottery, Keystone First, and Bank of America. Family, I see you checking in. And I do want to share. Nasir is checking in, Brother Nasir Butler. He shares peace and blessings with everybody. Thank you, Nasir. And he shares welcome back. Thank you. You know, I'm so happy to be back. Y'all know I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. You know I miss y'all when I'm away. And there's Brother Malcolm. You know I was waiting for my message, Malcolm. Malcolm shares watching and listening from West Mount Airy. There it is right there. Hey, Brother Malcolm. And Nicole P. Thank you once again, Nicole P., for our Black History 365 moment. She's sharing that she's happy to be watching online and hoping that we are all well and blessed. We receive that. Send it right back to you. And Lakeisha Boston. Hi, beautiful. She sends a good evening to the family. We receive it and we send it right back to you. All right, family. I'm talking too much, okay? It's time to get started because I can't wait to have this conversation. Our guest in this first hour is Kimani Anku, who is the founder of Gardening and Beats. Yes, a full-fledged global gardening coach service specializing in helping to build new gardens and assisting new gardeners and farmers how to grow their own food using an organic and spiritual approach to gardening. I love that. You hear me? Family, I invite you to the conversation with Kimani Anku. Hey there. Hi there, Kimani. How are you? And welcome.
Thank you. What's up, world? Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Listen, family, I was telling Kimani, I'm so excited to have you because I am anxious to have this conversation. I've been dancing around the whole idea,
Okay.
of growing some food. I don't know when I'm going to do it, maybe in my sleep, but I've been dancing around the idea I have. So, welcome, first and foremost. And because the hour goes by so quickly, I'm going to try to tone myself down because I'm on 1,000 because I want to have this conversation. But please tell our family a little about you.
Well, I'm Kimani Anku, as you said earlier. I'm in Maryland. I'm from Maryland. Um, Raised in Maryland, went to school in Maryland, went to college in Maryland, and now I'm out here growing food for the people. I'm growing 50% of my own food, So yeah, I'm excited about that. I mean, I like to keep it short, but with that part of it, I'm just Kamani Anku. Just love of growing food. Just love growing food and eating food and healthy food now. That
First of
wasn't
all,
always the case.
yeah, I was about to say no, but that first of all, that's amazing. That's amazing. Before we move further, because I have some questions for you, I want to go to our phone lines. One of our family members is checking in. Miss Audrey is calling. Hello, beautiful. Thank you so much for calling.
Hello, beautiful. Back at you, Carol. How are you?
I will not complain, Miss Audrey.
Good. Happy her month recognition, because surely, as being one involved with our children, I call them little people, as
Mhm.
with our little people and trying to make your lives better, certainly we can hold you to the highest esteem because you held them with loving arms. So, Carol, here's the reason why I'm calling. I'm sure you heard about the Global Leadership Academy, the third time that the charter school has been rejected based on their percentage of mathematics scores or something to that effect.
I have.
Well, here's what I want to say to that. And I'm hoping that because I'm not good at remembering names, you had a guest once. And I believe that basically what your guest did is that she went to schools and she looked at the environment of the school and she helped them to manage whatever problem areas that there were that existed. She was there a few times.
Yes, I know exactly. And Miss Audrey, her name is escaping me right now, but I know exactly to
Me
whom you
too. You know
refer.
who I mean, though? And I'm saying that for this reason, as it has been brought up more times than not, our children, yes, they are struggling. Yes, it should be better. And in this instance, because I know the Southwest community well enough, having been a bus matron with an independent contractor, associated with the school district, I know that those children have either been homeless, are still homeless, and are still not in a stable environment. And because these women are showing so much love and they want for these children to strive and do better, if it's a matter of correcting their mission statement, if it's a matter of looking at the overall real problem, which is not that these teachers or other instructors are having a problem with learning these children, it's because these children are either at the poverty level, below the poverty level, and because they do not have any type of lifestyle stability. And those are the things that we squirt around those, and we really don't address the problem by trying to uphold those who are saying, look, this is a community that needs their children to improve. But let's look at those problems and let's work on it together, especially because I know that it was just last year that they chose someone new to be the one to keep an eye on these charter schools. So, no, don't reject them. Let's find a way to improve the construct of where they say the problem areas are and stop. I mean, really stop people by saying that it is what they're getting on these test scores. Last week, Brother Shamari had said, what did you hear about 320 this week, and what does it mean to you?
Mm.
Well, Carol, I found 3 different important matters that was related to that 320. And in mathematics, if it's an option of you're guessing, sure, that shows that you need improvement. But if it's an option of a question in English, which one would you choose? Yes, we're going to give a different answer because of our lifestyle and where we live. So that's what I'm calling for. I'm hoping that people are hearing this and that they realize that the Southwest community has had a lot of problems, and we need to not turn down the funding those who say we can make their lives better. Improve what needs to be improved as far as admission statement and give them what they need. That's how I see it.
Miss Audrey, thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I can't tell you, I just can't tell you and express and have you understand and know how much, how deep that goes for me, because you know I love our babies.
I know you do. And that's why I'm thinking whose name, as you're saying, that leads you now.
Well,
but
I'm going to look it up. I'm sorry to have interjected. I'm going to look it up. I am. I sure am.
Thank you, Carol.
No,
All right,
thank
now
you.
listening in.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Family,
Love you.
you as well. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome. You're tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We're talking with Kimani Anku, and we are talking about gardening and beets. That's what we're talking about in this hour. First of all, from where did the name come? Gardening and beets.
Oh, wow. First, I want to talk with the young lady talked about. We need
Oh,
those
I love that.
We need those charter schools. We need public schools, and we need folks to support those so they can eat and give them healthy food so they can be
How about
thriving.
that?
If there's no healthy food out there, I mean, there's no reason to have a school. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about
Well,
it.
we need our babies. We need our babies to be healthy.
Yeah, and I mean, my daytime job, I do work for an organization that provides food outside the schools, like a farmers market, as well, that supplies families with food. I feed over about 600 families every week in that job, and so that's really, really exciting. But I just want to address that because I have worked for a charter school, and we need those, and those babies need to.
See that, Kimani? When I talk about divine orchestration, that's exactly what that. First, well, our beloved Miss Audrey, I love her because she always, always, always first educates me, but she shares, and it's always something that is impactful and meaningful. And look at that, poignant to this conversation. So thank you again, Miss Audrey, for contributing to the conversation. Thank you, Kimani, for sharing that because, see, I didn't know. And I want our family members to know all of you, which is what I shared with you earlier. So thank you for that. But I want to know about gardening and beets because I want us, our good and grown folk who don't know anything about growing our own good and healthy food, to be able to grow it for ourselves and for our babies. So.
Yeah. So you said, where did the name come from? It's crazy how that name came from. So basically, gardening saved my life, and people's like, what? Gardening saved your life? Yes, it really saved my life. So gardening and beets was really born from a deeply personal journey of self-discovery for me and a transformation for me about a decade ago. I found myself at a crossroad, grappling with depression, poor health, and trigger warning. You know, I didn't want to be here. I did not want to be alive. And so thinking about Women History Month, this is really a big shout out to my mom who got me into it. She said, baby boy, you need to get out there and get you a garden going. Cause it's gonna help you. It's gonna be free therapy. And I was like, Mom, I don't want to go out there. I'm the type of person that didn't want to go outside. I paid people to cut the grass. You know, I went outside for a short time. She said, well, baby, just go out there and start growing something that you love, which is strawberries and chives. The chives come from when I worked at Red Lobster when I was a youngster. And so, you know, they had the baked potatoes with the sour cream and chives. So I said chives, and then strawberries, like I said, was like one of my favorite fruits. So she said, go and pick some of those up and put them in the yard. And I bet you in about 30 days, you'll see something happen. And I'm telling you, it's going to change your life. Like, whatever, Mom. okay, I'm gonna and I finally sat out there and went and did it, and then all of a sudden it started growing, and I was surprised. And I got strawberries, and I got chives, and I still got chives and strawberries from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, still growing in the same spot. Isn't that crazy?
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so it really was changing my life. And at that point, the depression came when I was working. I work in media as well. Well, I used to work in media. And so I got fired from that job. And I was like the only Black person working in this job. So I thought I was going to be there forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm the chosen
Yes.
person,
No.
they never had anybody to look like me for 20 years in their organization.
Wait. I want to pause you for one moment. First of all, I do not want to pause you, but I have to pause you because it's time for us to go to commercial.
Yeah,
but I
that's
don't
fine.
want to interrupt this story at all. So what I'm going to do, we're going to take just a short commercial break. And when we come back, I want to hear this story in its entirety. Family, stay with us because we are coming right back.
Okay, remember what I told you. Be your own boss, love yourself, level up.
Level Up is back for 2024, celebrating Women's History Month in partnership with WVON Chicago and KJLH Los Angeles, highlighting Black women-owned businesses who are making a difference in their communities. You can nominate your business or one of your favorite Black women-owned businesses for a chance to become one of 5 finalists who will participate in an in-person, live on-air Shark Tank-style pitch party on Tuesday, April 2nd at the Fittler Club. The winner will be selected by a panel of corporate sector judges and will receive a grand prize valued at $5,000. Deadline for submissions is Friday, March 22nd. Visit wordradio.com/level up to nominate the best of the best in Black women-owned businesses. Level Up 2024 is brought to you by Comcast, the Pennsylvania Lottery, Keystone First, and Bank of America.
Level up, level up, level up.
It's time for the Philadelphia Flower Show, March 2nd through the 10th at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. Get ready to enjoy incredible displays created by premier floral and landscape designers. The show will also feature gardening ideas, shopping, free family programs, and educational sessions. Don't miss United by Flowers, the Philadelphia Flower Show, where magic happens and where people from all walks of life come together as one. For tickets, visit phsonline.org. Don't miss this phenomenal show, March 2nd through 10th, phsonline.org.
March is Women's History Month, and Word Radio celebrates Black women in education. Ruth J. Simmons is a highly accomplished educator who holds a PhD in Romance Languages and Literature from Harvard University. She served in various faculty and administrative positions at prestigious universities before securing a position as president of Smith College, president and professor of Comparative Literature and Africana Studies at Brown, and most recently, president of Prairie View A&M. Ms. Simmons is the recipient of many awards, including the 2001 President's Award from the United Negro College Fund, the 2002 Fulbright Lifetime Achievement Medal, the 2004 Eleanor Roosevelt Val Kill Medal, the Foreign Policy Association Medal, and the Centennial Medal from Harvard University. Ruth Simmons is the definition of Black excellence, and WURD salutes you. This Women's History Month vignette was brought to you by Comcast, Keystone First, Bank of America, and the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Long nose, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We are talking with Kimani Anku. We are talking about gardening and beets, talking about growing our own food, healthy food at that. And before the commercial break, I interrupted you. You were telling us a story, so please do continue.
So the story was I worked for this white company. Can I say that word? The white company. And I was the only person that looked like us, black folks, and I thought I was gonna be there forever. They done sent me to school. I done got me a house. I done got me a brand new car. I was living it up. Credit cards maxed out, 25 credit cards. Can you believe that? Going on trips.
No.
Going on trips for the weekend, go to Jamaica for the weekend and come back on Monday and was working. I was like, yeah, I'm not going nowhere. They need me. The
No,
the day came, I was gone out of that mug. He was like, you need to go now. Well, we got into a tiff and I end up fighting him because I'm a little crazy.
Okay.
Just a little cray. Ended up fighting him, and then I was like, I had to go. The next day they told me to come in. I was escorted out the next day, and house, brand new car, maxed out credit cards. And so I fell into state of depression because this person also worked at media, and he kind of controlled the media in the area where I lived. And so I couldn't find a job, so it was getting bad and bad. These credit cards companies are calling me, hey, where my money at? The car note, gotta pay the car note. So I fell into a bad state of depression, and then I started overeating McDonald's, Burger King, all the junk food all over the town because that's all I could pay for because I had to save that money to try to pay these things. Then I filed for bankruptcy. I had to file for bankruptcy, and I'll get to the kind of end the story now. But I filed for bankruptcy, sold my car to my mom for $1. Had to put my house in someone else's name, and then like I said, my mom was like, start growing your own food, which was just strawberries and chives at the time. So I'm getting unhealthy, still eating this junk food, and then I started looking at myself. I mean, I'm a small guy, I'm only 5'8" at that time. I was probably like 130, 140 or so. And so I ended up blowing up to about 185 over like a 6-month period, 7-month period, which was great. And having a small frame for most of my life, that just didn't look good on me. I always say, look like a Oompa Loompa. People laugh. So I decided to go to the doctor.
Kimani, go ahead.
So after I saw these strawberries and chives growing, because my mom said they will grow. I didn't believe her at first. So after I saw that started growing, I decided to go to the doctor. I was like, okay, my body's not right. Something's not right. Let me go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor just ran down that list. I don't know if you ever been to the doctor and they ran down that list. There's diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, this, that.
No.
I was like, no, I'm too young for that. No, this is not my life. This is not my life. And so I was like, I had to change. And he's like, I told him, I was like, give me 3 months and I'll come back. I promise you I'll change my diet. I'll change the way I look. I'll change everything. I ran home and I told my parents, like, I'm a die,
Right. Well, right. When you get a list like that, that is I'm sure that's your first thought.
Yeah, and then I'm already done gaining this weight. How am I gonna get this weight off? You know what I'm saying? And so I started looking up. This was the middle of garden season at this point, and so I was like, started looking up all these seeds, and I was like, I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna grow all the food I can. I don't even know if I like this type of stuff, which with some stuff like eggplants, even tomatoes. I didn't like tomatoes at the time, but I'm like, I'm gonna grow them. I'm gonna change. I started growing the food. It started growing, and I became like a raw foodie person. Started eating raw food. 3 months later, I went back to the doctor. I went from 185 to 130 in less than 2 months. Just eating raw food, and all the vegetables came from out the yard. It was everything. Like I said, tomatoes. I was eating raw tomatoes, which I really, to this day, I still don't like as much. But I went, and he was like, I need to test your blood. I said lose some weight, but not a whole lot of weight. I don't need to test, but I feel like you're okay. If you stay on this path, you're gonna be good. Maybe you need to start eating some more cooked food, because I started looking really thin in the face,
right?
Looking kind of sickly, but not sickly, but healthy, kind of healthy sickly, so to speak. So he said, can you come back and talk to some of my patients, because it seems like The problem is around eating healthy and eating the right types of food that can change your perspective on your overall health. And I was like, okay, I never done it before, but I guess I just
Right.
was out the yard and I could come and talk to that. And so when I did that and I saw people that look like me and you, I was like, that's it. This is what that's
Wow.
supposed to be. My mom was planting these seeds, and I didn't even know she was planting these seeds. You know what I'm saying? And so my mom eventually passed in 2014, and I was like, I gotta keep going because my mom put me on this path, and I believe this is
Mhm.
my purpose. You know, and this is my doctor at the time had me come out and speak to several people, and I was like, and I was telling you gotta grow your food, you gotta grow your favorite things, blah blah blah, and this is how you change it. And I said, you know, it's willpower, stay at it, and I'm trust
Wow.
you in a few months you'll be able to change your outcome. And some of those people did change their outcome. Then you had those people that just didn't want to change for nothing
Right.
because that's how they are.
First of all, let me tell you, I admire your discipline. I know you were saying, look, I was at a point in life where I needed to do something. I needed to change something, but it takes discipline to even make it come to fruition. You know, I know we'll say, yeah, I got to do this, I got to do that, but you did it.
Yes.
You didn't just say, I'm going to do it. You did it. And not only did you do it, you've been maintaining and sustaining. Like,
Yeah.
kudos to you. Kudos
Yeah,
to
I
you.
had no
Seriously.
choice. I was like, it was either I wasn't gonna be here or I was
But
gonna
you know,
be.
that doesn't stop some people.
Yeah.
That
And so
doesn't
I
that
was like,
doesn't always stop people.
yeah. And when I started seeing that food grow and having a love for the garden, I was like, this is my purpose. I felt my purpose. You know how hard it is for people to walk around this earth and not have a purpose or don't know what their
Yes.
purpose is.
Yes. Yes,
And I
I
felt my
do.
purpose. Yeah.
So
And
you, oh
so
my
go
gosh.
ahead. So yeah,
So
so
strawberries and chives. Strawberries and chives is where it starts.
and I added on stuff, and now, like throughout now, I just add on different things to my garden. But that really changed it. And then when COVID hit, I was like, people like knew I was growing food. They knew I was healthy. They was like, "You look like you in your 20s." You know, we talked about our age. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm not no
Oh,
young.
yeah. I don't have any problem sharing my age. I'm happy to
Yeah,
be here. You
yeah. So
know, I'm
yeah, I'm
happy
happy
to
to
be
be here too.
here.
And so I was like, it's because I've been eating the right things. Let me help you. You know,
Right.
here, take this sample of smoothie. When I started teaching, I was like, I would give the kids smoothies. I would bring smoothies to the school
And then,
and stuff from out my yard. And like a few of those kids are now
yeah.
vegetarians and vegans. And I didn't, they like, it's
Oh
because of
my
me.
goodness.
And
You
I was
know
like,
what? That reminds me, my fifth grade teacher, he used to bring in celery and peanut butter as a snack. And we were like, let me tell you, it became one of my favorite snacks. You get a nice celery stalk with your peanut butter. It was the absolute best
yes.
thing. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome. Okay. Welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. I'm going to take a moment to go to our phone lines because our family members are calling to check in. We've got James calling us. Hi there, James. Welcome to the conversation and thank you for calling.
Miss Carol,
Hi, James.
welcome home.
Thank you. You know, I'm excited to be back. You can hear it, right?
No doubt. Miss Carol, when you look at the consumption of our diet in humans, okay, fast forward. Okay, look at the horse.
Okay.
His diet consumes of hay. But yet, this horse is powerful
Mm-hmm.
physically, the whole nine.
Mm-hmm.
Might look at chimpanzees, other mammal, gorillas. Diet consumes of bananas, everything from the earth. But yet they're so powerful. Is there something we're missing?
No, not at all.
I mean, these species are powerful.
But
And
I
it's just
believe it's all by God's design. It's all by God's design.
there you go. There you go. That's why I love you.
But I
Well,
also would just add to the fact. I mean, when I started eating all these fresh vegetables out my yard, I felt very powerful. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my body was changing. You know, I got fit. I got cut up. You know, and I wasn't really doing a lot of exercise. I feel like those vegetables was making me power, and I got superpowers, and that was the reason why I wanted to create gardening and beets so I can give other people and teach other people how to get their own superpowers from their yard.
Facts.
How about that?
I
How
gotta
about
go,
that?
y'all. My mom calling.
Okay, well, give her our love.
To the brother, y'all be safe, all right?
You too, James. Thank you for calling. Give mom our love. We're going to take a moment and go to our other phone line. Ron is calling. Hi, Ron. Happy Monday and welcome to the conversation.
Let me say to Love and Life story. I want to tell y'all what happened about Love and Life on Saturday. But let me begin with this before I get into the health thing. Bread of heaven, feed me till I want no more. This Love and Life family is growing. On Saturday, we was at the Beckett Club. And the lady from South Philadelphia, Miss Stokes, 70-some years she was there, and we had health conversations. We had conversations about these women. And I was very fortunate to sit at the table with all different colored people, like a package of charm. And she was telling me, you know, Ryan, I listen to Love and Life. I said, well, you are a member, and you listen. She was, you know, saying things going all the way back to the producer, Nick, Malcolm, and all the other gentlemen that calls in. And she's enjoyed it. She enjoyed it. She said, I know Cal family. She said that, Ryan, she comes from a very large family, she was telling me. She said, my husband is no longer with us. I don't know where they met at, but she's been in South Florida for so many years. And I was saying to Mr. Husband, name was Stokes. I don't know if he was the basketball player Stokes that I knew. I don't know if anybody in your family knew him. But here's his story. What a wonderful place to be at on Saturday. And I had the opportunity to speak to all the ladies that was there and talk about this love and life and our health. And I was glad I was able to sit at the table, the square table, but with the information that I was bringing forward to what all women have contributed in this country. Like a package of charms, all colored people. And I want to thank you, Ms. Stokes, for coming there. And she had a lot of information given out with taxes, et cetera, et cetera. His wife was here, I was there. And she came all the way up there. And what happened, I didn't know that they had boxes of food there, you know, to get to people. We took a box from where I was coming from, my perspective, and took it to two seniors in the community. And they was very appreciative. I got it donated from the Beckett Club in Love and Life. And this is what life is all about. Now I want to go right away to this garden, sir. Carol Aunt and the lady that raised me, Miss Marie Lewis, they was farm people. We was raised off the farm in the gardens. This health food have brought us such a long, long way. And what was old in the past, now they are renewing that. Like myself, and going back and doing a health thing with my diet that I'm on, and I've been on some of the things I've been on for quite some time. But the whole thing about it is, when you have a community like we have here on WURD, sir, it is so inspirational. And Kyle and Love and Life family, regardless of what the topic is, and there are many topics that the station that Kyle and them talk about, but it's mostly about this love and life and caring. It's something I'll never forget. And when I get my chance to speak with Auntie, she's one of the eight sisters now, and if I get it, I want to say something to her that is so important. The number 8, I want to remind Auntie about that number 8. And look where she have come from. And then her family and many families like her, the lady that raised her, have given so much. And I just want to thank Love and Life. And I say to the people, say to you, Ms. Stokes, if you choose to do so, just call in and say hello to our Love and Life family. We welcome it. And because when you contribute to this segment of this program, it energizes all of us. Yes, it does. Because a lady called, I'll never forget this out of all the things. A lady was sick last week, and I hope she's doing well. She didn't call the minister. She didn't call the medical people, and I'm quite sure she did that. She called Love and Light. She asked Cal to pray for her. She asked our family to pray for her. Isn't that something how God uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things? And I certainly hope when I talk to Auntie, if I get a chance, if I'm allowed to do that, I want to remind her of that number 8, which is significant. And thank you, Almighty God. Thank you, family. And her husband, just like Miss Stokes, she was talking about her husband too.
She sure did.
I want to talk to Auntie about how fortunate that you are. Great is our faithfulness. This gentleman is with her at the most crucial part of her life. All parts of life is crucial. And to know that she have a family and many others out there, I want you to know you have a loving life family. That's what it's all about.
Yes. Yes. Ron, thank you. Thank you so much. And I did share your information. So my uncle and aunt do have your information. And I wanted to let you know that. But I want to thank you, as always, for pouring into us positively and for sharing, for just letting us see your vulnerability. It means so much to me, and I know it means even more to our family members. Family, stay with us. We're going to take a short commercial break, but when we come back, Kimani is going to talk with us about the gardening coaching services that he offers, because I can't wait to hear about that. Stay with us, family, because we are coming right back.
Word Radio Digital Tip of the Month is brought to you by Comcast.
Cash App has become a very popular way to send money to family and friends or pay for goods and services. But it can also cost you a lot of money if you're not careful. Always verify the person you're sending money to. Some scammers create accounts similar to others you may use to trick you into paying the wrong person. Banks, government agencies, or utilities will never request payments through Cash App. You should also secure your transactions by turning on the security lock feature in the app. This will help protect you by requiring a PIN or Face ID before you can complete any transaction. Head into your settings, and under Security and Privacy, you'll see the option to enable security lock. Keep in mind, Cash App payments happen instantly and usually cannot be canceled, so it's up to you to stay aware of where you send your money. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
We gathered real Pennsylvania seniors and asked them how they would benefit from an extra $1,000. Here's what they had to say.
Everything is so expensive these days.
Car expenses, repairs,
Like groceries, heating costs.
medications. Sure, I could easily spend $1,000 like that.
Through Pennsylvania's property tax rent rebate program, eligible seniors and adults with disabilities could receive up to $1,000. Check your eligibility and apply online. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Long nose, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Family, welcome back. You're tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. I do want to share, family, I see you. I see you checking in. Harold Sprittle is checking in. He's sending love to everybody. Good evening to you too. Walt Reeder Jr. is checking in. He shares my favorite show. Thank you, Walt, and thank you for joining us. T. Jackson, hi, beautiful. She shares beautiful. Thank you so much, and we share that right back with you. Smitty is joining us. Darren Toms, that is. He's sharing, family and friends, have a blessed night. And our beloved Ms. Rosalind, she's checking in too, and she's giving everyone our flowers while we can still smell them. And she adds, we must continue to educate our children No more 0%, especially when people are getting paid. I agree. And the beloved and beautiful Miss Lily is joining us as well, and she's sending love to everybody. So I did ask a question just before the commercial break. Kimani, can you talk with us about the gardening coaching services you offer?
Sure. I'm tie everything up in this part. So I went from, like I said, depression, growing my own food, getting healthy, getting back on track. While I was doing that, also I was always playing music in the yard because I was a big music person. I also have some ties to the music industry, so I was just playing music, and so I would sing to the plants, play music to the plants, and that helped the plants grow. So
It
that's
sure
from
does.
the whole spiritual thing comes into. And so, like I said, when COVID hit, the pandemic hit, all my friends knew I was growing food, so they was like, come help me, we need something to do, we'll pay you. And I was like, no, you ain't got to pay me, I'll come out and do it because that's all I do, that's all I grow food every day, you know what I'm saying, don't worry about it. They were like, no, I'll come and pay you. So I started going out to some of my friends' houses, building them garden boxes and showing what kind of types of food to grow. And then one day I was like, this got to be a business because I'm getting money in my pockets. And so I also had worked with this youth organization at a school I was working with who had a garden, and they have a big garden at the Botanic Gardens in DC. And so they was like, we're going to help you get this thing off the ground because I think this is your purpose. This is you living in your purpose. So just get ready. Can you get us a photo of you? Get your Instagram, get a Cash App, and we're going to help you supply these tools to build your business. And I was like, what is Cash App? I didn't even know what Cash App was in 2020. I was like, I don't know what this is. So I had to come up with a name. So I was like, I got to come up with a name for my business. This is about to be my business. I was going around and I didn't know what it would be called. And I was like gardening and I was like playing with it. And then just gardening and beats just rolled off my tongue. And the beats is the BEATS, like in music. And I was like, that's what it is. So I jumped online. I got a website, a domain name. I went on Instagram. I got the Instagram, all of that, all those handles, and I said that's what it's going to be. And then I sent off that stuff to those people. I was going to school, working my master's at the time, so I really didn't have a lot of time to be on social media. They was like, "Well, get ready." They kept telling me, "Get ready." I was like, "Get ready for what? Get ready for what?" They kept saying that, and so all of a sudden they must have posted. Then my phone started going off crazy, and I was like, I couldn't really check it because I'm in my master's degree program, and I already took one class, so I was like, I can't be like being on social media and fail again. You know what I'm saying? So
Kimani, you are hilarious. But go ahead. So finally,
I got a break. I checked my phone. It was over like $500-$600 in my Cash App account, and the notes were like, buy a domain, buy a website, register your business with LLC, get some apps to create programming content for your page and go for it. So that's what I did. And I was like, the best thing I'm gonna start out with is helping people grow food. And so I went out and started getting clients, and was doing COVID. I put my mask on, be out there getting it, you know what I'm saying? I made first year I made about $5,000 just helping people grow food. And building garden boxes and showing them what to eat and having consultations with them, going out there talking with their families. And yeah, go ahead.
Wait, because listen. I had a ton of questions, and the time goes by so quickly. But I want to know, no. I'm enjoying this conversation, and so is our family. But the garden boxes. So now, let me ask you about coaching services. Do you do any of your coaching services virtually?
Yeah, so speaking of music and you're a singer, and so Konya Dawes has been watching me, and I'm a big fan.
I love Konya. Yes,
Konya Dawes is currently one of my coaching clients. She's been working with me for 3 years now, and she said I've changed her life creating this her farm and her garden in her backyard. And so one of the things with the coaching service is I make people name their garden, because when they name their garden, I feel like they're very invested in it. And so I started telling her that, and we work virtually because she's in Ohio. And so
I know Konya. Yes.
So I was
I
like, create that name, and she came back with all these names. I was like, that's what it is. You gotta stick to it now. And this is her 3rd year. She'll probably be contacting me soon.
Well, I'm going to contact her because I have some questions for her. But wait, one of our family members, well, actually, my actual family, my cousin Sherry. Hi, beautiful. She shares, hi, cuz, Mr. Mr. Anku and Word family, this is a powerful conversation. I have a question for you. What veggies did you eat and how often during the day?
I eat veggies all day.
All day. So just a strict vegetable diet?
I mean, I
Or
still eat chicken, so that's a whole nother story. You gotta have me on at another time when I got
yes.
bullied into eating meat. I did grow up vegan, strictly vegan, but then got bullied into eating meat during high school.
No.
Yeah, and so
But let me ask you this, because family, offline, Kimani shared with me that his grandmother lived to be 118. Yes, 118 years of age. Was she a vegetarian, or did she grow her
this
own
is the
food?
crazy story. She was a I call it a pig rancher.
What now? Wait.
She raised pigs, but she also had a garden in Durham, North Carolina, and she raised pigs, but she didn't eat pork. That was crazy. That's just crazy to me how you can be a pig rancher. I call it a pig rancher. I don't know the right word, but she raised pigs, and that's how she made a living. That's how she supported our family. But she also had another garden where she did peanuts. So it was peanuts and pigs, but they were also like collard greens and kale and all of that
Right.
down the line. And we actually still own her property. It's a historical property.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's like about 30 acres or so. We can't sell into any commercial properties because the historical perspective of it. But
I'm glad you listen, let me tell you, kudos to y'all. That's a hug to my heart, because there are so many of us who no longer own property. That's a whole nother conversation, but kudos to your family.
Yeah, and we can grow on it if we want to grow on it. We just haven't decided to grow. I mean, I'm the only one that's really growing now. So
Okay, wait, Kimani, because I'm going to interrupt you because we only have about 4 minutes left, and I want to know, for those of us who want to know, how do we get in touch with you? How do we learn about your, how do we learn? How do we
So you go
contact
to my
you?
website, Gardening and Beats, www.gardening and Beats. That's BEATS. People say, why didn't you put the beats like in vegetable beats? But no, it's music because it plays
It's
into
music.
everything.
Is that .com, .org, or
.com?
.com.
Or you can also go to my Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram. I've been with Instagram when they first started. I was one of the first members to sign up with Instagram. So I kind of have my personal page, but then I flipped this to a business page, which is Gardening and Beats. And that's how you can find out about me. I also do coaching. I do coaching services. I call myself a global garden coach because I actually got to go to Uganda in 2022 and teach folks over there how to grow their own food.
What?
By a strange post that happened on my Facebook page, which was I thought was some kind of spam trying to catch
that's divine orchestration. That's what it is. So the beautiful Miss Lily asks, are you familiar with duckweed?
Yes, duckweed. And
yes.
What you want to know about duckweed?
What would you like to know, Ms. Lily, in the 2.5 minutes that we have left? So family, for those of you who have just joined us, once again, welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Kimani Anku. We are talking with him about growing our own food. We're talking with him about gardening and beats. That's BEATS. For those of you who are interested in learning about his coaching services and want to know more about growing your own food, you can go to his website, which is www.gardening and, that's the word, A-N-D, beats, that's BEATS.com. You can also go to his IG, which is the same, Gardening and Beats. That's BEATS, and that is the word and not the ampersand.
Well, real quick, duckweed is really good. It's like a protein that you can ingest. You can also rub on your body for arthritis and gout. So, our older folks, our elders, my grandma used to say, I got the gout. I wish I would have knew about duckweed back then. But, the crazy thing about my grandmother, so it's like a couple generations. It's my great grandmother, who was the one that lived 118. Then it's my grandmother and my mother. But my grandmother always said I was going to be some type of witch doctor at some point in life. I just didn't get it. I didn't know when it was. I feel like I am sort of like a witch doctor because I do medicinal herbs for people. So duck
Wow.
really, really good for you. If you got gout, arthritis, you get the oil, you can rub it on your legs, your feet for the gout, and you can also ingest it because it has a lot of protein in it. And sometimes we miss protein because we're not eating the right things, and we need protein to get our powers.
Yes, we do. That's right, to get our superpowers. Kimani, I do not want this
And
conversation.
you don't
to end,
always
but
have to eat too.
I'm
So
looking
to
at
get
the
that protein.
time.
Okay.
We got to get ready to go. But wait, will you come back? Will you spinach? Yes. Eat that
And
spinach.
protein for protein.
Will you come back? Will you
Yes.
please come back and visit with us? We've so enjoyed your visit. I want to say thank you again. Just thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We look forward to you coming back. Family, guess what? It's time for us to take another commercial break. I know it comes so fast.
I'm gonna shut
Go
off
right
Jeff
ahead.
because I'm trying to get him to be a gardener too. So Jeff, I'm waiting for you to give me that call so you can start that garden.
Well, I'll text him for you. I'll send Jeff a text for you. And thank you again, Kimani. I look forward to you coming back. Our family looks forward to you coming back. They're all saying thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Family, stay with us. It's time for a short commercial break, but we are coming right back. Stay with us.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed on Reality Check.
Tamron Hall, what was your most significant no, and how did that turn into a win for you?
Oh, my most significant no, I guess in career would be the decision to turn down the offer that was presented for me to stay at the show that I was on before I started this show. I tell this story often of being let go. I wasn't quote unquote technically fired, but I was made an offer they knew I would refuse. And if I were to take that, it would have shrunk me down significantly. And so I felt turning down that offer, which was designed to shrink me down, not to build me up, not to give me an opportunity to shine, was one that I could say no to and bet on myself.
And that bet has certainly turned out to be a winning bet.
And that's your hottest 60 seconds from Reality Check on WURD Progressive. Black Talk Media.
Tune into Word Radio this Thursday at 10 a.m. for City Council Live, hosted by Ernest Owens. Join conversations that matter to your community with your local City Council members.
Family Therapy Vignette Moments with Dr. Lucille Ijoy. It's March, you know. Make a note. The calendar reminds us it's almost time to vote. Yes, it's March, you know. Make a note. Turn in your ballot. It's time to vote. Now, some people go in person. They make a note. They go to the polls. They're ready to vote. There's some good helpers at the poll. They are really willing to help you vote. Yeah, they're ready and willing to do this to help you vote. Come on, everybody. Say it together. We all are registering. We register. We vote. We must. We register. We vote. We must. This is Dr. Lucille Ijoy.
Want to be heard on Word?
Yes, this is Miss Renee King out of Philadelphia.
Dial 215-634-8065 to join the conversation. Outside of Philly, dial 1-866-361-0900. First-time caller? Great. We would love to hear from you. Word is the voice of the African American community, so make yours heard. Please limit calls to once per day. Spread the word and tell a friend to tune in and join the conversation.
Let's face it, life looks a little different. During these times, we're doing our best to keep our minds and bodies strong. And getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters, like having game night at home. Yeah, can't do that while sick with the flu. Now imagine family movie night that your daughter can't live without. Well, that's ruined. And don't forget your uncle's socially distanced cookout. See, that's why it's important to be at our strongest. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Celebrating Black excellence worldwide and bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. That success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. So I don't know about you, but I enjoyed that conversation, and now I'm all excited. I was already interested in growing my own food. I've been tossing the idea around for a minute. I don't know what I'm growing, but I'm going to grow something. Okay, I'm going to grow something. I will keep you posted on that. I do want to share that our family members are continuing to check in. Howard Harris, hi there. Thank you for joining us. He shares that I got that information. Thank you for that. And yes, witch doctors are divine. Thank you for that. Khalil Rashid is joining us. Hi there, Khalil. Welcome. Ms. Roslyn, our beloved, she shares, I look forward to him coming back. Great segment. Thank you for that. Ayatunde, yes, you did. We were talking about growing our own food. Ayatunde shares, hello, Word family. I'm late, and it looks like I missed a good guest. Yes, we were talking about growing our own food. Now I can't wait. And Ms. Lily shares, I read an article in a health magazine that stated that a diet rich in duckweed, walnuts, and green tea is one of the healthiest diets. Prior to reading that article, I had never heard of duckweed. Well, let me tell you, tonight is the first time I'm hearing of duckweed. So now I'm going to have to do some research, and I'm going to have to reach out to Kimani to ask. Okay, tell me everything I need to know. Family, I do want to share with you before I introduce you to our guest in this hour. I want to talk with you about Level Up. That's right. Level Up is back for 2024. Celebrating Women's History Month in partnership with WVON Chicago and KJLH Los Angeles, highlighting Black women-owned businesses who are making a difference in their communities. You can nominate your business or one of your favorite Black woman-owned businesses for a chance to become one of 5 finalists who will be featured in a special in-person, live on air Shark Tank style pitch party on Tuesday, April 2nd at the Fiddler Club. The winner will be selected by a panel of corporate sector judges and will receive a grand prize valued at $5,000. The deadline for submissions is Friday, March 22nd. Family, simply visit wordradio.com/level up to nominate the best of the best in Black women-owned businesses. Level Up 2024 is sponsored by Comcast, Pennsylvania Lottery, Keystone First, and Bank of America. That's right. That's right. So, family, in this hour, I want to introduce you to Ramin Bastani, who is the founder and CEO of Healthvana, which is a company dedicated to making life better for patients. Oh, my goodness. Under his leadership, the company's patient engagement platform for healthcare providers has delivered more than 50 million health records to patients across the U.S. Healthvana's customers include both the largest county in the United States and the largest HIV provider in the nation. The company has been at the cutting edge of addressing both the HIV epidemic and the COVID-19 pandemic. And its evidence-based outcomes have been published in outlets such as the New England Journal of Medicine, Catalyst, and the American Journal of Public Health. Family, I invite you to the conversation with Ramin Bastani. Well, hello there and welcome.
Hey there, Carol. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing but love in life here, and we talk about everything here. So anxious to have this conversation with you. First, can you tell us a little more about you? Can you tell us just from where you come, all that good stuff?
Yeah, of course. So I'm calling in from Los Angeles. I'm originally from Iran. My family moved to the U.S. when I was super young, so we immigrated here to Southern California. And that's actually a lot of where Healthvana came from. I took care of my family because I spoke English better than they did, especially when it came to things around their health. And so I took care of my father for a number of years before he passed away from lung cancer. And the most frustrating part was we couldn't get access to his records to see if the cancer had come back. We'd get this doctor's office saying, we can't tell you over the phone. It's HIPAA, which we now know is nonsense. Come back in 2 or 3 weeks and you can find out. And we were lucky. We could afford to go to the doctor. And so that was really the catalyst behind where Healthvana came from. And our goal was to help make life a little better for patients and hopefully not have a portal that doesn't suck. And that's the idea, because a lot of these patient portals don't really do what it's supposed to do. And so that's where a lot of our work is focused.
I had to say that I can identify and relate. Our health, there is no care in our health care system. I say that all the time, and I know we all live it constantly. But so Healthvana, when did you start Healthvana?
2015. So we've been working on this for a little while, and we've delivered, like you said, tens of millions of records to patients across the United States. Our first focus had been towards working on the goal of ending HIV, and we think that's coming pretty close. But it really does help patients get access to information in a way that's easy to understand. So instead of getting, let's say, a PDF that says all these things you have to Google anyway, it just says what you've got. And if there's a problem, it tells you, here's what you're supposed to do next. We think that's the key, is to patients just care about if they're okay or not. And we're really good at getting that information to folks. And that's why people like us, I think.
Why is it so difficult for patients to get to gain access to their own records?
It's a great question. I've been fighting that for a while. I'm not quite sure. A lot of times you have healthcare providers who don't want to share the information with patients. They make it hard to. Even if they do, it's in a way that you can't quite understand. So everything we do is, a lot of times we talk about making the work we do as easy as Instagram. Like, everyone understands how to use Instagram, use it on their phones. Why can't accessing our own health be as easy as Instagram? So that's what we've been able to do. And it's work we care about a lot.
So I did see that you spoke at the White House and the National Library of Medicine, and you've been featured in several media outlets as a result, including the New York Times, Fox News, the Wall Street Journal. Since 2015, this has been an initiative and an effort, and you've covered a lot of ground. I'll go right here. Were you about to say something?
No, I was going to say, I didn't know. That was really nice of you to say for all those things. But was there a specific question around that, or did you want
Yes,
me to
there was. I wanted to share that with our family members, but also because I read that and appreciate and applaud your efforts. It means that you're definitely making some movement and gaining traction, even more traction, since you've been to and through the outlets of which I spoke, the ones that I mentioned. So was it because of the experience that you had with your father, just purely because of that experience, that you said, okay, I need to do something? Like at what moment did you say, this has really got to change and I've got to be the catalyst for change?
That was it. I mean, I've always started businesses when there was a problem, and I thought if I
Okay.
could solve it for the problem that I was experiencing, it could help others. And so, I'd seen that being issues for other folks and other friends that were, caregivers or even in
Mhm.
their own health. And so it seems so easy. You should get access to your information in a way that you understand and helps you decide what to do next. But we know it's not as easy as that. It's a complicated system to navigate. And a lot of times you need help to do so. And so we really, our team cares deeply about helping people, and we'll do whatever it takes. That's our true north, is to help patients and what they're doing. And we have an incredible group of folks that are just so dedicated to this work and have helped tens of millions of folks, like we mentioned. And so a lot of the credit goes to all the great work they do and our healthcare providing partners that have put us in a way that really helps the patients. And a lot of it, Carol, is just building trust with patients by having the
Sure.
system that isn't terrible. And then what you see is patients are more than willing to share and be open, and then follow up on the things they're doing, as long as it's made easy.
Now, I'm curious to know, um, we mentioned, or I did touch on, the fact that you will discuss the state of HIV and AIDS. As it pertains to Healthvana, does Healthvana cater to patients with specific ailments, or is it just patients across the board?
Great question. It's really specific, and it's specific to the healthcare providers we work with across maybe half the country. And so a lot of the ones we focus on are sexual health clinics. So we do everything around HIV, STIs, things like hepatitis C, and everything around that. We also did a lot of work around the flu and COVID-19 and other things alongside of that, like RSV, that we helped, let's say, the County of Los Angeles with. That's another one of our customers and partners. And so we kind of stay in our lane in the areas we think we can really make a difference. It's
Sure.
not about being a mile wide and an inch deep. It's about the
Sure.
opposite for us.
So you started in the arena of I don't want to say, well, sexual ailments, I'll say. And
Sexual
then you
health.
widen the sexual health. Thank you for that, because it was escaping me. And then you widen the net to include flu and all. How did that come about?
Yeah, we've been really laser focused on sexual health for a couple of years. And then when COVID-19 came around, we were asked to jump in, and we knew we could help. HIV is the most sensitive data in the United States by way of HIPAA. There's different rules for it. And so we were really good at handling the most sensitive data. So when COVID came around, the city of Los Angeles, the county of Los Angeles, reached out to see if we could help. And so we ended up starting to help with those folks by delivering test results to people. You remember during COVID, it was you'd go through drive-throughs, you'd go to stadiums, you'd do whatever it was to get those results. So we were the ones that were putting together, let's say, 10 or 15 different testing sites, and all the information would come through us. So we could then deliver those to the patients in a way that was safe and secure, but also easy to access on your mobile phone. No passwords, no apps to download, just getting you to find out if you're okay, if not, what to do next. And we continue to expand on that work by then delivering people mail home test kits. We're just the technology piece, Carol. So we're just helping facilitate all that information in between. But it's
Sure.
something we're really good at doing. Eventually, we helped certain zip codes in Los Angeles County that we knew were more likely to be hospitalized from COVID get access to free Paxlovid delivered to their home. And we were published in the New England Journal of Medicine Catalyst around that work, along with some Stanford researchers. So for us, it's quite obvious. Help a patient find out if they're okay or not, meaning usually based on their lab results, and then
Sure.
tell them what to do next. You're fine. Hey, you got something going on, and then here's what to do next. Or it's complicated, you got to come back in. We think the anxiety that's built up by not knowing is actually worse than just knowing. Does that make
Wow.
sense?
It does. It makes a lot of sense. Kudos to you guys and your efforts. Thank you for that. I want to go back to the conversation about HIV, because you made a statement saying you feel like it's getting better. How would you describe the current state of HIV in the United States?
There's a lot more. Yeah, of course. There's a lot more cases than there should be, especially in underserved and communities of color. But there is hope. There are some really good things coming down the pike that should be helping. The former head of the White House for HIV, he just left a couple weeks ago, is a guy named Harold Phillips. Incredible at the work he did, and set a really good path for a lot of us to follow, including bringing HIV to an end. And I'll explain what that means by 2030. But there's about 35,000 cases a year, and that should go down a lot. There's now a pill you can take once a day called PrEP The same way a woman could take a birth control pill, it has the level of efficacy in the high 90s if you take it daily that will prevent you from getting HIV. And in the near future, meaning towards the end of next year, there's if people choose to get an injectable, just a shot every 6 months, then you don't have to take the pill every single day either. And that's what we think will be a pretty big deal in a lot of ways. If people are open to wanting to get a shot, it can help a lot of folks who may not remember or want to be seen taking the pill every single day. So we're optimistic about the future, but we know there's a lot of really important work to be done.
I want to go back to something you just said, and I want to make sure I heard you correctly. Did you say there is a pill called PrEP that you can take to prevent HIV?
Yes, and it's been around for over a decade. And so you take the medication, and not as many people that should be on it are on it, or even know about it, let's say. Go ahead.
Well, I do have a follow-up question, but you might answer it with what you're saying now, so I'll wait.
So a lot of folks are taking that, especially what the CDC called MSM, men who have sex with men. So the idea is gay and bisexual men are at the highest risk of HIV if you look at the data. But you also see now in the recent data that a lot of Black women are disproportionately getting HIV as well. Women are responsible for about 1/5 of all new cases of HIV, I believe. And half of those are within women of color. So there's a huge effort on behalf of the White House and a lot of the federal folks to make sure that folks are getting this information, understanding there is something you can take daily if you want. And then in the near future, if people are open to it, getting an injection every 6 months, so you don't have to remember to take the pill every day for 6 months.
So what would prompt the decision to take preventive measures? Because of your sexual activity? Like is that what we're saying? And please forgive me because I have little to no knowledge in this area. So I'm grateful for your patience, but I just do want to have a full understanding.
Yeah, of course. It's up to you and your healthcare provider or a clinic you go into to talk about whatever's happening in your sexual health and if a pill like this can make sense.
Yeah, because when you're talking about prevention, I'm thinking, so you would anticipate. But what you just said when you're talking about the statistics that you shared, I have a better understanding. I absolutely have a better understanding. So thank you for that. Thank you again for your patience. And so when we talk about Healthvana, how or in what ways is Healthvana working to end HIV and AIDS?
So we are probably the largest technology company in the country working towards that goal. We have over 500,000 patients who have used us who are either on PrEP, the medication we talked about, who are either getting, and also those that are getting tested for their sexual health, and also folks that are HIV positive. And we have clinics we work with across 17 plus states. And so what we're doing is really empowering people at their fingertips. If there's one thing that I want to convey to you and your audience, it's giving information to people at their fingertips, meaning on their phones in a way that's easy to access and helps get them care and education they want. So we're helping people get access to that information, get their test results, know when it's time to come back in for testing. If you are taking medication, either preventatively, prophylactically, like PrEP, the medication I mentioned earlier, or if you're HIV positive and you're taking your medication daily for that chronic condition, we can help you remind and to stay on that medication and then get you back into your appointments whenever you want. Real basic things, again, making it as simple as Instagram versus a lot of the complicated health system stuff we see.
I'm listening to you, and you said in 2015 you started Healthvana. How, like, what? Because, and I'm listening to you talk about the strides you all have made and are making. Like, how did you even begin to make Healthvana come to fruition?
So the first thing, just an idea, and then you start mapping it out and talking to a lot of folks and seeing if this is real, start talking to potential customers. That's kind of the nuts and bolts of it. Is this real? Like, just because I had this one experience with a family member, does that mean other people are experiencing this?
Right.
And a lot of where we ended up finding a really important overlap was where there's a lot of anxiety waiting for your test results. It is most likely that's causing anxiety and, not good things for the patient.
Sure.
Which I'd experienced, but also that means people are calling the clinic nonstop, right? Because like, hey, where are my results? Where are my results?
Right.
So we understood that. And so when we launched into one of the clinics we work with initially, I think it was in Florida, they had a 90% reduction in phone calls within the first month because patients all of a sudden had access to their information.
Right.
And so I guess there's little experiments we do to kind of get to that point, and then finding really great people that care about the same thing to jump on board and start to work on solving these problems collaboratively.
So what is the wait time? What is the wait time between testing and finding out your result?
It depends on the different healthcare providers around the country. It's usually a couple days, but what we do is we'll send it to the split second it's available. And as soon as it's available, you can log in to get it in a secure way, and you'll know what your status is, and you can move on. And then a lot of people actually in the sexual health context utilize their status to then share on dating sites. It's empowering them to have that conversation on dating sites before they actually meet up sometimes, and they'll DM folks about it. And we know it's been shared millions of times. And I should make one thing really clear. We're not giving someone their HIV positive status or any status electronically. That's coming instantly. In all the clinics we work with, you're getting a 1-minute finger prick test that'll tell you if you're HIV positive or negative. So now it's that in the presence of a counselor, you're finding out. So the things you're getting from us are chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, other things that are treatable, curable. So we're just, we're sharing those with the patients as soon as they're available.
Yeah, my concentration was on HIV and AIDS, and I completely forgot that you shared that you all share information about other STIs. Wow, that's a lot. That's a huge effort. That's a huge effort. And like I said, you widen the net, and you're sharing information about COVID and flu, and oh my goodness, what a network. Family, hi there. I am talking to you. If you have just joined us, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Ramin Bastani, who is the CEO of Healthvana. And we're talking about a lot. Okay, so if you've just joined us, you better stay put because we have some more things to talk about. It's time for us to take a short commercial break, but know that the phone lines are still open, and feel free to comment on our socials. Stay with us, family, because we are coming right back.
Okay, remember what I told you. Be your own boss, love yourself, level up.
Level Up is back for 2024, celebrating Women's History Month in partnership with WVON Chicago and KJLH Los Angeles, highlighting Black women-owned businesses who are making a difference in their communities. You can nominate your business or one of your favorite Black women-owned businesses for a chance to become one of 5 finalists who will participate in an in-person, live on-air Shark Tank-style pitch party on Tuesday, April 2nd at the Fittler Club. The winner will be selected by a panel of corporate sector judges and will receive a grand prize valued at $5,000. Deadline for submissions is Friday, March 22nd. Visit wordradio.com/level up to nominate the best of the best in Black women-owned businesses. Level Up 2024 is brought to you by Comcast, the Pennsylvania Lottery, Keystone First, and Bank of America.
Level up, level up, level up.
It's time for the Philadelphia Flower Show, March 2nd through the 10th at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. Get ready to enjoy incredible displays created by premier floral and landscape designers. The show will also feature gardening ideas, shopping, free family programs, and educational sessions. Don't miss United by Flowers, the Philadelphia Flower Show, where magic happens and where people from all walks of life come together as one. For tickets, visit phsonline.org. Don't miss this phenomenal show, March 2nd through 10th, phsonline.org.
Tune in to Eco Word Magazine, hosted by POC, the first Friday at 10 a.m. for the PA Lottery Eco Word Fact of the Month. Brought to you by PA Lottery, benefiting older Pennsylvanians every day.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black talk media, WURD.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, progressive Black talk media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Ramin Bastani, the CEO of Healthvana. And I do want to go to our socials for a moment because our family members are checking in. Our beloved Miss Lily shares, kudos to Ramin Bastani and his staff. If I heard him correctly, HIV cases are down to roughly 35,000 cases per year, with a projected date of eradication by the year 2030. Praise God. Amen to that. Amen to that. Alfred is joining us. Hi there, Alfred. Alfred Evans, that is. And Ms. Lily follows up by asking a question. What are the current statistics on STDs? Or I know we call them STIs now. I have a question about that because I'm not sure why, but but do you have the current statistics?
Yeah, STIs are at an all-time high, and they have been for a number of years now. And the reason is mainly dating apps. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's a good thing that people are connecting and meeting in different ways. But it's one of the things that's coming out of that is a lot of people get STIs now. And there's now a pill you can take. It's called Doxy PEP, PEP, that a lot of people are taking after they have sex to prevent them from getting an STD. It'll reduce it by up to 50%. And doxycycline has been used for things like acne, so people have used it for a long time. And for a lot of the folks that are on PrEP, the pill that I mentioned that you can take daily to prevent you from getting HIV, are also now taking Doxy PEP as a follow-up after they have sex. Because if you aren't afraid of getting HIV when you're taking the daily pill and you're having condomless sex, then the likelihood of you getting an STI or an STD, as you said, and I think they're used interchangeably, Carol.
Okay.
It's not. I've always had that question too.
Okay.
This reduces the chances of you getting an STI as well. And so there's a lot of different solutions potentially. You can obviously always wear a condom as well, and that works. So it just depends on what you want to do. But there is a lot of STIs now in the country, and the CDC keeps announcing every year it's at the highest rate ever.
Wow, I did not know that. Thank you for that information. So Doxy PEP, is that used for specific to prevent for the prevention of specific STIs, STDs, or across the board for all of them? Is it?
Yeah, I think it's chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis are the ones that it's really targeted towards, and I think it's most impactful on chlamydia and syphilis. And so, chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis are all not only treatable but curable in almost all cases. So it's just a matter of getting tested so you find out. There's a lot of stigma, obviously, around STDs, but those ones you can get treated immediately. So it's a bacterial infection, the same as if someone were to kiss someone else with a sore throat and they get a bacterial infection.
Right.
That shouldn't be stigmatized. So a lot of the work we're doing is trying to not stigmatize these things and let people know you've tested positive for chlamydia. The next things we say are, don't worry, this is curable. Here's what to do next. And there's either a button you can click where you can get medication sent to you. Again, making it as easy as Instagram is a lot of what we're trying to do to destigmatize it. We take these same learnings and then apply them to other areas like COVID, like we mentioned, and other areas that we think we can help people.
Wow. Eric is joining us. Hi there, Eric. Just Rick. He shares, hello, Ramin. Welcome to the Word platform. Many people believe that HIV, AIDS will be eradicated completely. Do you believe in our lifetime there will be an actual cure worldwide?
So I hope so, but there is no cure. But you now have an effective treatment that can prevent you from getting it by getting an injection twice a year. And for a lot of folks that are at highest risk for HIV, this is going to be a really big deal, not only domestically, but also internationally. You can imagine the impact that'll have for folks that may not be able to get the pill every couple of months. So there's a lot of hope, like I mentioned before, and it's been hovering around 35,000 cases for the last 10 plus years. So we haven't seen as much progress as we'd like to see.
Sure.
And we think now with some of these new tools, it's going to actually be a lot better sooner than later. So I don't think there will be a cure that we know of in the near future, but we have the ways so if you're HIV positive, let's say, it's a chronic condition. People aren't dying from HIV. That was a long time ago. We know there's stigma attached to it, but you live a long life, the same life. You can take medication once a day. You can even get an injectable every so often instead of taking a pill every single day. So there's been great advancements there. And if you're HIV positive and you take your medication, you have what's called undetectable, which means you're taking your meds and there's no HIV that can be traced in your blood. What that means is you cannot 0% chance, pass it to someone else. You cannot.
Oh, wow.
And so that's known as, anyways, there's a really good, so there's a lot of prevention happening there from the folks that are HIV positive on medication on one end. And on the other end, you have people who are at risk of HIV potentially, who are taking a pill prophylactically. And so although there's not a cure, to the listener's question, you're really close to bringing it to a place where we can dramatically reduce cases, hopefully in the coming years.
Wow. Ramin, I am processing all of what you're sharing, and I thank you so much because, like I shared, and I thank you for your patience too, because I was sharing with you, I have little to no knowledge in this arena, and you are really, really helping to educate me. You are really, really helping. Ms. Lily shares, wow, STIs are at an all-time high. I had no idea. I had no idea. Now, is that within a specific age group or ethnic group, or just overall, or just?
It's overall, and I'm sure there's statistics that show specific age groups, but generally when you see people that are underserved, you're going to see higher rates of infection for all sorts of things, right? Lack of access to care, all those different pieces obviously contribute broadly to healthcare and the disparities we see across the country. And predominantly the folks we've worked with across the country, and again, I think you mentioned earlier, we've delivered over 50 million records to people across half the country, are from those underserved communities, are in communities of color where we see the need is most greatest. And we want to bring that kind of incredible concierge-like experience to them using technology, because we think that's something that people are missing. People don't meet people where they're at a lot of times. They say, you got to come over here. And for us, it's like, well, we know people are on their phones. We know they know how to use them if you make it real simple. So why don't we access it that way? Why don't we help people in the way that we think will really make an impact? And I think that's why the White House's attention was on this and a lot of the media outlets, because this is actually working.
That's what I was saying. I said, you have really made some strides. That is to what I was referring. You know, you guys are really covering some ground. You all are really covering some ground. Ms. Lily shares kudos. You are educating all of us, which so we are grateful, so grateful for this education. We're talking about the AI tool. Did you create this tool?
We did. When I say we, I mean our company, our team. Yeah,
Yes,
we have an
yes, yes.
extraordinary team. Do you want me to tell you some more about it?
Please. Well, that was going to be my next question. I wanted to ask first, to who, but the team. So please tell us about this AI tool that you all created.
Yeah, of course. So this is what we actually presented to the White House on World AIDS Day, which was December 1st, a couple months ago. The idea is that a lot of times patients write into their healthcare providers using like the portal or something. I don't know if you've done that before, and they don't get back to you in a couple of days, or sometimes they don't get back to you at all, right? So what do you end up doing, right? And so what we wanted to create was a tool that helped get back to patients, gave them an option. Do you want to message them as you normally do? Or would you want to try what we call either a standard AI that'll give you all the information you may want? Or do you want to give them a drag queen AI? We thought that would also potentially be fun. And the healthcare provider we're doing this with is the largest HIV/AIDS provider in the world and in the US. So they understand their communities really well. And they're like, this would be interesting and hopefully destigmatizing. So what happens in this is probably 4 key things to remember. Number 1, it's 24/7. You have a question about something that just happened, you message the AI and it gets back to you right away. Number 2, it's in any language. So if you start writing to it in Spanish, it'll come back to you in Spanish. Whatever language you write to it, it'll come right back to you on instantly, which is incredible, right?
Yes, it is.
Number 3, it knows your health. So it knows your health history with that particular clinic. So you can say, when was I last tested? Hey, did I get vaccinated for this? We view AI as a conversation that hopefully will help build more trust with you as a patient and your healthcare provider, and that will hopefully lead to you doing more things that are beneficial for your health. But it's just going to make it a lot easier to have that conversation with it. And the 4th thing is we hope it's less stigmatizing. Already we're seeing these incredible examples of patients sharing more with the AI than they would with a human, and in hours where they're not at the clinic. They have these questions about sexual health that are not obvious, that we aren't always taught, and we don't know what's what. So it's going back and forth with the AI, and it's asking these questions, and it's giving this no stigma, right? Information around what's happening. And thus far, it'll be rolled out in 17 states in the coming weeks. We're testing it out in 3 states right now just to make sure it's going well. It's built on top of, if you know ChatGPT, they have a way to build it on top of that. And so then we've spent 6 or 8 months really honing it in a way that makes it give really good information to people. And
Sure.
we're really proud of what it's done thus far. We think it's reducing anxiety. It's helping put patients at ease, and then also ask the questions they probably wouldn't ask otherwise.
That, oh my gosh. Well, again, I keep saying kudos. Well, kudos again, once again. Ms. Lily has a question. She's asking, do you or are you aware of any statistics on senior citizens contracting STIs?
We are, and they are. Viagra was one of the key drivers there way back when. So
How about that?
in the senior communities, there's an influx of STIs everywhere. And again, for us, it's just people are going to do what they're going to do, and good for them.
Right.
If we can give them
Right.
tools to help and understand what's going on, that's a lot better. And when you get tested more often, you can catch things that may be problematic later. Some STIs can lead to issues for women who want to have children in the future if undetected for a long time. And a lot of STDs like chlamydia and gonorrhea don't have symptoms for a long time. So that's why regularly getting tested is a good idea overall. And finding a healthcare provider or a sexual health clinic that you feel comfortable with to kind of have these conversations in a confidential way. And that's part of why we like the AI so much, Carol, is you can ask questions and you get back real-time responses on what it is. And that's really helpful.
Absolutely. And like you were saying, there's a lot of stress and anxiety around the topics, number one, and associated with the anticipation of a test result and the wait itself. That alone, you all are helping to relieve the anxiety and the stress and those areas, and those are huge. Those are huge. Alfred has a question. He's asking how or has telehealth or telemedicine contributed to the advancement in treatment, if it has?
Another great question. Yes, is the short answer. And it's provided access for people who don't have time to go to a doctor. You might have a job that won't let you leave during the day. You may be working 2 jobs in a row. So if you can jump on a telehealth call, and I want to make a real clear distinction, telehealth does not mean it has to be on video sometimes, but telehealth just means a phone call. And so when we do some telehealth work, we encourage it first to be a phone call, because who wants to see someone else if they're not feeling well or if they have something they're nervous about? So it just depends on the provider you're working with. But what we think it's done is helped give access to people sometimes who may not go into a clinic, or let's say you live somewhere where there's a lot of stigma in your community about HIV or sexual health in your state. And there's not enough locations. You can use telehealth to get help from somewhere else in the country, of someone who's able to do this with you, with a doctor on the other end, that there won't be any stigma. It's not in your state, no one in your area, because a lot of small towns, especially, everyone knows everybody else. It's a really good thing sometimes. Other times it may not be a good thing for you. So it's really about expanding access to care, whether you're HIV positive, whether you're at risk of HIV, where you're getting sexual health tested. You can also get mail to your house. You can get home these discrete packages that'll have testing inside of it. So you don't even have to go to a lab sometimes. And then you mail that back. So the entire idea of giving people more access, and I want to make it super clear that although we're doing this in sexual health, this can apply to most parts of healthcare. That's the really exciting part about where some of this new advancement is coming. It's really to empower people with more information in a way that's actionable, that can hopefully help them stay on top of their health and whatever that means for them.
My goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is a lot. This is a lot, but I'm so grateful again for the education. Our family members are talking. We do have some more questions. Harry, hi there, Harry. Thank you for joining us. He's asking, are there any new sexually transmitted diseases or infections that are coming or on the horizons about which we should know?
Not that I know of. Hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully for all of us. Hopefully, family. For those of you who have just joined us, welcome to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Ramin Bastani, the CEO of Healthvana, and he's been educating us about some things tonight, family. He really has, and I'm grateful for the education. Let me say that I'm so grateful because I'm learning so much that I did not know. And thank you for telling me that a telehealth visit did not always include video. I just automatically assumed that a telehealth visit, included video.
Sometimes it does when they need to see you. In other cases it doesn't. So yeah, it's for us, as you can tell, we're really about breaking down the simplest things that we think will help people. Anytime there's a barrier for you to not do something that's better for your health, we're trying to remove that barrier. And if that's possible to do, that's great. And it's not always going to work. But what we really focus on are the folks that are most at risk, that cost the system the most amount of money, that cost those people the most amount of consternation and anxiety. How can we help those people in what communities, what states? Because just to be clear, HIV is not the same across the country. Across the South, you're having much higher rates of infection. If you are Black men who have sex with other men, which is how the CDC puts it, so gay or bisexual, forget labels, your odds of getting HIV in the US today is 1 in 2. So it's 50%. And this is according to the CDC. And so to know that there are tools that can certainly help these communities, we do a lot of work to make sure we're reaching out to the right communities who may not know they're at risk.
Family, I see you commenting, and I'm going to share all of those comments when we come back from our commercial break. What I will share before we go to commercial break is that Harry shares we need this conversation every 6 months. I am in agreement with that. We're going to talk to Ramin about that so we can have an update if and when he can. Alfred shares Love and Life always has great segments that are educational, especially with a variety of subjects. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. Family, I see you. I see your comments. And when we come back from this commercial break, I am going to share them and read them aloud. Stay with us, family, because we are coming right back.
Don't settle for bumps, ingrowns, and itch due to dry skin. Try Venus for pubic hair and skin, the razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area. Featuring a razor with patent irritation defense bar and skin care regimen that is dermatologist and gynecologist tested. Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Discover the full regimen of products at GilletteVenus.com.
Stand with Word Radio as we continue to provide dynamic, progressive programming to inform and empower our people. We're living in unprecedented times, and we must stand together to protect and preserve Black Talk Media. Become a Forward member with the annual membership price of just $90 or a digital member starting at just $5 per month. If you're already a Forward member, sign up, family member, or friend to help us continue making history. Start or renew your Forward membership today. Visit wordradio.com/forward or wordradio.com/.
It's too black, which means it's too strong.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black Talk Media, WURD.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hi there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Ramin Bastani, and we are talking about health. We really are. Eric, I'm going to go to your question first. And Ramin, I did see the information that you shared with me, and I'm going to let our family members know about that, but I did share with them that I'd go to our socials first. So I just want to make everybody aware. Eric asks, well, he shares, how do healthcare facilities handle the homeless and drug abusers who are HIV positive? By possibly having unprotected sex and or using tainted needles, their health is always at risk.
Great question. Yeah, we work with a lot of those folks you're mentioning there. And so we're the technology piece. It's the great frontline workers at these clinics that are actually working with folks in their community. We don't pretend that the conversation is the same in Los Angeles as it is in South Florida or in Atlanta or in Texas, right? It just depends. And so those folks are really the ones who reach out to their community. But yes, if you are using IV drugs or drugs needles, the odds of getting HIV are much higher because you're transmitting blood into your arm. And that's also puts you at higher risk for hepatitis C. which is now curable, by the way, which has not been curable up until recently. So hepatitis C is now curable as of the last couple of years. But getting those, yeah, I mean, and the thing is, even people who are homeless have mobile phones. So, and they also don't want that anxiety. If they want to get their medication, if there's things they want to stay on top of, it's helpful, especially for that population, if they're open to it, depending on who it is. There's massive amounts of medical mistrust, which is absolutely justified for certain communities and beyond. But if they're open to sometimes getting an injection every couple of months, you don't have to remember to take a pill every single day. So hopefully that answers some of the question, and some of the ways, as you can tell, we're really solution oriented, meeting people where they're at, trying to help them where it's possible. Using technology is hopefully a go-between in those moments.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Our beloved Ms. Roslyn asks, is the AI connecting with clinics and hospitals in order to educate people in the city or across the city?
So right now it's just with the clinics that we work with. And so far it's one in Atlanta, one in Houston, and then somewhere in Florida that we have this. So we're testing it out slowly as we roll it out to make sure it works as intended. And it's not going to be something that's broadly available to everyone through Healthvana. But other organizations will launch their own versions of AI that will hopefully empower patients in the way that I've been describing. We may come out someday with some kind of direct-to-consumer version of that where anyone can use it. But for now, we just wanted to make sure that people want to use it. And what I mean by that is when we talked about this on World AIDS Day in Washington, D.C., we weren't sure if people really wanted this. Like, do people want to use AI? People a lot of times conflate AI and a chatbot. Chatbots generally have been terrible for most of us. Stuck on an airline call or some other call where we don't like it. But AI for us is different. It knows your history. It understands what's going on. It's a lot better. And so we're hoping to get that out more widespread in a way that can really help people.
Yeah, I was thinking that when you were talking, when we started the conversation about AI, because we've talked about AI in this space, and in some arenas, some of us are like, some of us feel like we don't want it at all, but in other areas it's helpful. And quite honestly, it's been around in some other arenas that we just didn't realize, have been helpful and useful. So to that point, I do want to ask, I'm sorry. Were you?
Yeah, so sorry.
No.
You brought up a really good point. So we asked 40,000 patients that use Healthvana. When they go into their clinic, they're registering for their visit with us. It's not on a pen and paper. It's either on their phone or it's on a kiosk. And of those 40,000 patients, 50% said they were interested in getting early access to the AI, which blew us away. And then even more importantly, 70% of the folks that said yes were from communities of color. And so now that we're seeing people using the AI, we started in Atlanta. What we're seeing is the folks that are using this are predominantly from folks from communities of color. And so what does that mean exactly? Not sure. But what we're hoping this is giving access to people sometimes who may not feel comfortable, whatever it may be. And that's really a big thing for us. And we're going to be publishing into some sort of study in the coming months on this. We're working with Stanford researchers on this because we want to showcase how this is working, how it's safe, is it effective? And for us, AI means, can you help build a better relationship through AI with a patient, with all of their information, helping them get answers that leads to a better health outcome. So whatever that means for that patient, it's not just about how fun is this. Of course, it's fun when you have a drag queen that's glitzy, and you can see a demo of it on our website at healthvana.com. But that's really our goal here is, can we lead this to better health outcomes for people?
Our beloved Ms. Lily asks, if a woman is HIV positive and she's taking her prescribed medication as directed and she becomes pregnant, can her child contract the HIV virus?
I believe no. If she's taking her medication, it's not passable. And that's a better question for a doctor. So the medication is so good now that no one should be born with HIV. So this is why it's so important to get tested and to get your treatment on. And we know that people, when they're on treatment, can live completely healthy lives. The best example is probably Magic Johnson, who in 91, I'm a huge Laker fan. So in 91, when he announced he had HIV, no one knew what that meant. And it wasn't, that would have been closer to a death sentence in 1991. So a really long time ago. Magic is still healthy. He's on the same, certainly Magic has more money than almost anyone, but he takes the exact same medication everyone else does for HIV. So it's available to everyone. And I also want to make something really clear that cost is not a barrier to getting treated if you're HIV positive, or if you want some of these tools to prevent you from getting HIV. They're subsidized, and a lot of these sexual health clinics will pay for it all for you and help you get through it. So cost is not a barrier for people in case that's a concern of some of the folks that are listening, or if they're sharing this with friends. Whether you're homeless or if you have money, there's certain ways to go about this where it's not going to be a headache to get on board.
Oh my goodness, Ramin, I can't thank you enough. Eric shares, this is a very informative conversation. Just thank you for your dedication and your service. You have to come back and keep the public informed. I'm with Eric. You have to come back to visit us.
Well, thank you for the platform to actually speak on this in a way that may be useful.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for making it so palatable and easy for us to digest and to understand. Alfred shares, AI is being increasingly used and or discussed in many expanding areas of life. It's interesting to me that you shared, you said, was it Atlanta where you started, where you did the survey and you were asking? I was thinking, wow, you said 50% of those that responded said, yes, we absolutely do want access to this type of technology. We want to make use of it in this regard. I think that's awesome, because now, as you look to be surprised when you shared that information too. So when you shared it, I was thinking, well, get out of here. But that shows a lot. That tells you a lot. It's promising, because just as you and I thought the same thing, no, they're going to be against it. I mean, there's a whole world out here. And you said 17 states right now. Is it 17?
It's on its route to being deployed in 17 states. Currently, we're in 3 states. Everything for us is about testing to make sure it works the way it's intended to work. We're rolling it out slowly where patients get to try it out. AI is not this one thing, or software is not this thing that you just kind of develop and then you let it go. You iterate on it every single day to improve it.
That I know. You are absolutely right about that. So those 17 states, are they predominantly in the South? Are they all in the South, or are they throughout the United States?
All over the United States. All over the United States. And it's going to depend on wherever HIV is most prevalent is where you'll see the services going towards those populations. So it's not going to be in a state like, let's say, Wyoming, that has really low rates of HIV. I think that's the case. It's just, it's predominantly in bigger cities that you're going to see a lot of populations of color, more metropolitan cities. And so it's been interesting to kind of watch, but 17 of 50 states is still a lot of places where HIV is most prevalent.
Miss Rosalind shares, you are saving people's lives. Thank you so much. And Malcolm shares all of this. This is heavy stuff. It is. It really is heavy. But you know what, family, you know what we do here. We talk about everything. And this is where we do it. This is family. We need to be educated and we need to communicate. We definitely do. Our beloved Ms. Lily shares, thank you, Ramin. Thank you, Ramin Bastani, for this valuable, educating, informative, empowering, and eye-opening health seminar. That's exactly what it has been, a health seminar. I can't thank you enough. Ramin, will you come back and visit with us regularly and help to continue to educate us? Because
yes,
you see,
of course. We care about this work, and we're happy to share it whenever we're doing this kind of work.
You know what, I'm looking at the time, and in our last few moments, would you share with us the website so that I can share with our family members?
Yeah, it's healthvana.com. So HEALTHVANA. You'll see the drag queen demo of the AI.
Right.
I think that's one of them that's on there. That's helpful. There's a bunch of other stuff on there as well, and you all can look us up on Google. And there's a lot of articles on the work we're doing, and there's going to be a lot more on some of our efforts.
And I did want to share, because Ramin shared with me important data. Black women, the disparity is particularly pronounced among Black women, who represent 72% of women living with HIV today. 1/5 of new HIV infections in 2021 occurred in women, with over half of those new infections in Black women. Oh my gosh, that right there. I'm going to try to share this link. So I'm sharing that link on our socials. Ramin, thank you once again. I'm getting text messages telling me how much of a great guest you are and how anxious we are to have you return. So thank you. Is there anything that you want to leave with us before we end tonight's episode?
Just find places to get tested nearby. That's it. There's also online options. And if you have any questions that are going to follow up You can find us on the website. You can message our contact us page. We're really good at getting back to patients or people that have questions, or you can get in touch with me if there's a way that might be useful for you. But just know that none of this is a death sentence anymore. And it's certainly something that's easily addressed. It's just you got to check in on it every once in a while like anything else.
Thank you once again, Ramin. And we will see you the next time. Thank you
for having me. Thank you so much for the work you're doing.
Absolutely. Praise God. Thank you. We'll see you next time, Ramin. Family, oh my goodness, family. Just praise God, praising God from whom all blessings flow. I'd like to try something new tonight. I'm asking you, if you take this time as we close the episode, so to just pray for whatever's heavy on your heart and for those that are in need. I'm going to ask you that every single night. Yes, I am. I thank you, though. I thank you so much as you continue to support Love and Life. I thank our guests for sharing their time, energy, attention, information, spirit, and space. I thank you for doing the absolute same. I thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that contributed to the conversations. Special thanks to the entire WURD family, especially Niall and Nick, for all that you do. Happy birthday once again to all of our love bugs who are celebrating. Family, remember, we are all in this together. You hear me? So you be good to you, but you be good to those around you. Yes, yes. Have a great rest of your night. And be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Remember that I love you. You hear me? But God loves you so much more. Have a good night, family. A very good night. Love you.